Tell me about the occasion when your mother was having the nightmare about.
Oh, this was, we went to a marshalling yard. Now, I can't remember whether it was ham or, anyhow, it was a big marshalling yard. And I remember it was the most beautiful sight that I've ever seen. It was right alongside the Rhine River. And they had some pretty big ships in there on that Rhine River. And it was just a gorgeous place to see. But I remember looking down on that, and I remember the worst barrage of flak I have ever heard and seen in my life. It just shook our plane, and there were some holes that came through the fuselage, and we went into a real tight turn, and they shot something. They shot the manual controls out, and we went into a dive. And I remember, I don't know why I said it, but I remember this is what came out of my mouth. I said, "Mom, it looks like they've got me." And I just said, I don't know why I said Mom. I could have said Lily, but it said, "Mom, it looks like they've got me." And my mom was over here in the United States, and she told me that she heard me say that. And she said she dropped right down on her knees and went to pray. And we went into this dive, and I just knew that we were goner because I was suspended in the air, and I was looking, and suspended in this air with me was 50 caliber shells, expended cartridges of 50 caliber shells that were just suspended in the air while we were falling. And Lieutenant Muska managed to get that thing switched from from manual control into automatic pilot. And we pulled out way down low. And we said, well, we're out of formation, so we're goners. But we hit a big, heavy cloud bank. And that cloud bank lasted and lasted and lasted. And when we came out, there was no Germans around us. We just come out of that cloud bank as sweet as could be. And we were flying out in the open for a little while. And I looked over and I saw some planes off in the distance. And I said, uh-oh, here we go again. And there was another cloud bank that was a little bit off course. And so he made a run for that. We got into that cloud bank before they got to us. And when we came out of that cloud bank, we came over the English Channel and we picked up some Spitfires. And man, oh man alive, that was just like pennies from heaven.
You have felt at times in your life that the Lord, that God has guided you and helped you and directed you. There was one particularly tough time. It was either in late 1943 or probably in early 1944 when my dad was on an extremely dangerous mission. It almost cost him his life, and he cried out to you. What was happening? He was in Europe at the time. What was happening to you back in Oklahoma at that time?
Well, it was pretty hard times, and we were struggling, you know, to try to accumulate something, you know. At the time that you're speaking of him crying out, I was in constant prayer. From the time they left, I prayed for, and I had the feeling in my heart that neither of them would be taken. But I just seemed to be assured that they wouldn't be. But this time that you spoke of, it was about 2 o'clock in the night, and I heard his voice as plain as if he'd been in the room with us. It said, "They've got us this time, Mama." And he told me later on that he actually spoke those very words when they was in this battle, you know, that so many of them was taken. And so it was so plain to me, I wrote and told him, and then he wrote back and he said it seems strange that he did speak those very words at that time. And I took his letter to the editor of the newspaper there, and she said she wanted to publish that because she had heard of other experiences like that, and Glenn being one of the boys that was there in Comanche, you know. that she'd just love to publish it, and I still have a copy of it.
Uh-huh. What newspaper was that?
The Comanche News, I don't remember if that was just what they called it or not.
But it was a Comanche newspaper.
The Comanche newspaper, yes.
Uh-huh.